Hi everyone, it's Fiona Edgar here. This is a video about the upcoming Mercury retrograde, which starts tomorrow in the sign of Taurus. So if this audio is a little wonky, I'm sorry, but my webcam is not working anymore. I could blame Mercury retrograde, or I could just own up to being sloppy and not replacing it when I should have. So first of all, what is Mercury retrograde? It happens 3 times a year, sometimes even 4. So it's when the planet Mercury appears from our perspective on Earth to be going backwards. It is an optical illusion, but these planets represent parts of ourselves. The entire solar system is contained within our physical bodies. So it means that something to do with Mercury, we didn't get it quite right the first time. It is a period of review. It is a period when wonderful things can happen at the end of the retrograde because you learned your lesson or you put some effort in. It's not a time to be feared at all. So please don't worry. As long as you're alive on this planet, you will experience this 3 times a year. So there's no point in getting worked up and in a panic. It does make things more likely to go wrong if those issues are ruled by Mercury, such as communication, travel, your car, and so on. But it's never usually anything hugely dramatic. So let's see then exactly what is going to happen during this Mercury retrograde for all of the signs. But first of all, I'm going to start with the general vibe of this Mercury retrograde. So it goes retrograde tomorrow, and then we have the shadow period that kicks in on May 14th. That is over with on May 31st. So with the shadow period, you do want to take the usual precautions, such as not making any large purchases, checking your paperwork if you have to sign any, and trying not to start things that are really important because they may not turn out the way that you expected after the retrograde is over. So just be careful. It's a time when our own Mercury, our own mind, the way that we communicate can be a little sloppy or mixed up. So you have to double check everything and make sure that everything is in order. Don't take any big risks. And just remember that other people are going to maybe misinterpret your words, or you may not be able to verbalize things correctly. Oh boy, is this a Mercury retrograde video. So this Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign. Taurus is connected to finances, everyday life kind of stuff, food in the fridge, money in the bank. And we may really be seeking a greater sense of security. And that is what this review period is about. Taurus is a sign that loves security, and it achieves that through finances and stability. So stability may be a little shaky at the moment. Now, because Mercury is going retrograde in an earth sign, you could feel a little ungrounded. So your energy may be a little off. And if you've been following my Instagram videos, I did make a clip about the best thing to do to make yourself feel more grounded and less of a space cadet. So get into nature. It is the best cure. If you're feeling wacky and fried and electronics are going haywire all over the place, just take some time, go to the beach, go to the forest, far away from other people as possible, and take some time just to kind of connect with nature. It always works. I have no earth in my birth chart at all, apart from Chiron, which doesn't really count because it's not part of the 7 classical planets. So I spend a lot of time in my head, which can then make you feel ungrounded, and you get anxiety because you're overthinking. So you may all be feeling a little bit more like me during this Mercury retrograde. So it's important to be to have a kind of procedure as to what to do when you're feeling a bit fried. Turn off your electronics, go into nature, eat some grounding foods, grounding foods. Look up some traditional Chinese medicine tables about which foods will make you feel more centered and grounded. It really works. It's based on the same principles as astrology originally was, which no one ever talks about anymore, which is that all problems are caused by an imbalance of the elements, and there are ways that you can correct that will lead to a better life for you. So of course, money and relationships, any Mercury retrograde, you can have issues, in particular with relationships, not just romantic ones, but family members, friends. Of course, there may be some small problem that comes up where you have to kind of work through this. And the result is that you get to a much better place when the retrograde is over. So use it wisely. Don't just lie at home and, shiver in fear because Mercury's retrograde. Take it as a useful lesson where you can actually learn and improve parts of your life, which is the way that we should see it. So the aspects in this chart, Mercury retrograde is conjunct the moon in Taurus and also Uranus, but in particular the moon is the most important. It's because that is our emotional state. So there could be some stress upon our emotions. You may be feeling more tearful than usual. Your emotions may be a little bit more out of control. So don't worry if that is the case. It's okay to have some bad days. It's okay to maybe cry a little or be furious. And you can go out and play some sports or walk by the beach, and those feelings should kind of dissipate. But yes, the moon will affect our emotional state. However, it's a great opportunity to get a hold of your emotions. The moon is exalted in Taurus. What does exalted mean? It's the categories that the ancient astrologers used to decide whether a planet is happy in a sign or not. So the moon is super happy in Taurus. This will go a long way to help. Now, moon and Taurus people are the most calm, grounded, centered people around. They have full control over their emotions most of the time, unless they lose their tempers. But we should kind of take some inspiration from lunar Taurus people. They are calm, collected. They don't jump the gun. They tend not to have emotional outbursts. They are in control. So if you feel like you're starting to get annoyed or upset about something, it's okay to go and cry, but then try and deal with it the way that a lunar Taurian would be. The archetype of the bull, strong in his field, in his power, strong boundaries. Remember, boundaries may get a little bit looser during this Mercury retrograde. So it's a great opportunity to work on anything to do with the moon. So that could be the relationship that you have with your mother or any other females. It is also connected to your intuition and your instincts. So it could be a time when we are feeling more intuitive. We're noticing that the intuition, along with our emotions, are heightened. So it's a great time to do a ritual, connect with the ancestors, connect with the gods, whatever it is that you feel like you need to do. So this retrograde is also great for making something really tangible and really complete out of a scrap of an idea that you had from the past. So Taurus, connected to wealth, connected to your finances and stability. So you had some idea, maybe, it could be a few weeks ago, a few days ago. This idea is forming in your head, but you have not brought this into fruition yet. So by the end of this retrograde, you will be well on your way to getting there. Of course, this Mercury retrograde is very much connected to the solar eclipse that we had this morning because they are so close together. So go and watch that video that I made. You'll see it in on my channel there, and pay attention to where the eclipse falls, then also where this Mercury retrograde is falling, because these are not separate issues. They are all pieces of something that is longing to be born into your life, that is going to give you a greater sense of stability and financial stability and emotional happiness. So you could be getting some anxiety at the moment just because of the lunar influence on Mercury. There could be many different ideas in your head, different thoughts. It could be harder to focus. So you may also be finding it difficult to verbalize your emotions. So don't worry if that is the case, but please be careful before you say something to another person, because your emotions may not be, they could be all over the place at the moment, and that's not the right place to be in for important conversations. So there is a sextile between Mercury and Mars during this Mercury retrograde. Now, a sextile is a soft aspect, but it can be a powerful one because it is very supportive. So Mercury sextile Mars, the planet of warfare, yes, but also enthusiasm, your sex drive, and the ability to just get your stuff done. It's great for getting any issues that you have off your chest so that you can sort them out when you're feeling in a calm place. Now, you could have more courage, more focus, and especially by the end of this retrograde, you will really feel like you're actually making some progress here. So the downside to Moon conjunct Mercury retrograde is that you could have annoying communications from people, like trolls on the internet or people that are nagging you. Maybe your mother is nagging you because of the moon here. But just don't pay attention to that because it's really not worth it. So overall, we have an opportunity here to create some financial security, and we will have more enthusiasm to reach our goals. If we have some problems within relationships, we will probably have resolved them by the end of this retrograde. So now I'm going to talk about each of the signs and where this Mercury retrograde is going to be transiting, what you can look out for. So Taurus rising and Taurus moon, for the Mercury retrograde is transiting through your first house. So this is really all about some kind of very powerful new beginning that is going to shape and change your very identity and the role that you have in life. So the eclipse in Aries was in your 12th house. This is something hidden or unknown revealing itself to you, and the result of that is going to be a whole new change in your life. It's going to be so important. So do be aware. I mean, you may have a suspicion of something going on in the scenes, but you just haven't got any evidence yet. Or it could be some light bulb moment that you have about the very depths of your subconscious. But overall here you have the possibility of a brand new life coming up. Jupiter is going to go into your sign from the end of May. I can't remember what date it is, but that is going to be really good for you. You're going to be like Taurus on steroids, you know, lots of luck, more money, and just overall enjoyment of your life. So remember that these things all happen in periods and stages, but they are all connected in the sky. So for Gemini people, Gemini rising, sun, moon, the Mercury retrograde is happening in your 12th house. So this can be, on the positive side, a very powerful time for ritual, connecting with gods, goddesses, the ancestors in particular. You will definitely be feeling more psychic and probably have some more paranormal experiences. I'm Gemini rising and I've had a few of those this week. When I close my eyes at night, I have heard, stuff going on that isn't really in the room, but you will have more communication with the spirit world and you will be more powerful within your rituals. The downside of this is that you need to be aware of people that are hidden enemies, because the 12th house rules hidden enemies. So what is that? Well, it's someone that is pretending to be your friend, but they are not clapping when you win. They are maybe working against you in some negative way. So just be careful. But the other thing is that you may get your wires crossed about that. Someone that you suspect of being a hidden enemy may in fact not be that at all. So again, you need to have clarity. To get a deeper understanding, you would really need to look at your birth chart, exactly what is going on there. And if you have suspicions about another person or a situation, get the birth chart of theirs and you would need to compare those two. I know it's complicated. It's something that I can do if you need a reading. So for Cancer people, Cancer rising and Cancer moon, Mercury retrograde is going through your 11th house. This is the house of friends, groups that you belong to, really people that you choose to hang out with. You're not mingling with them because you have to work with them, it's through choice. So of course there can be miscommunications here with friends. There could be issues with social media, which also belongs in the 11th house. Gossiping, people that spend all day on Facebook in their dressing gown with a fag hanging out of their mouth, watching your every move so that they can criticize you. But I mean, who is the loser here really? But this is actually a great time for you to plan something fantastic about your future. The 11th house is like the ideal that we have for our lives. It's the kind of future that we can see and be happy about. So you will be moving here, planning something. If you do have miscommunications with friends or groups, it's okay to go beneath the radar for a while. You don't always have to be with your friends or talking to them or on social media all the time. Sometimes it is a good idea to take a break or a digital detox, as you kind of need to spend some time in the real world. Or if you have some miscommunications with your friends, maybe it's not miscommunications, maybe you haven't seen them in a while or heard from them and you're wondering about them, you're thinking about them. By the end of the retrograde, it will have been resolved, so please don't worry. So on to Leo and Leo rising, Leo moon. So this Mercury retrograde is happening in your 10th house. This is about your career and your public reputation. So something that you started to think about, this new job or new opportunity or new piece of your career, it's going to come to fruition pretty soon. Now, this is the planning stage that you're at. You're getting things ready. Maybe there's a website that you're working on. Maybe you have a launch date, which shouldn't be over Mercury retrograde or shadow. But this is really going to turn into something quite big for you. So if you're not seeing those immediate changes, just remember that it may come after the retrograde or beyond. So it is a great time to make a change within your career, but don't be hasty. On the other hand, don't be too stubborn to make any big changes here. So what this means is that by the end of May, Jupiter is going to be transiting in Taurus through your 10th house, which is really great news because it will bring some stability there for you and you will really feel like you're making some kind of concrete progress. So on to Virgo. Virgo, the Mercury retrograde is moving through your 9th house. This can be a time when you're really thinking about travel, vacation, but there may be some spanner in the works. Maybe you don't have enough money yet. Maybe you're planning this really big trip, but you realize that there are some things that you have to do before it takes place. So this is the type of energy that we have in Mercury retrograde. If you are traveling over Mercury retrograde, I would be careful to check everything 3 times, your flight times, border control and all of that, because it is a time when we can overlook small details more easily, because Mercury is a logical planet and logic may be out the window during this retrograde. So the ninth house is also about publishing. You know, this is going to apply to very few of you, but if you're like publishing or working on a book, you may be choosing which publisher to go with, or you could have some issues with your current publisher, but it's a great time to find a new one. So the ninth house is also about your beliefs. What do I believe in and why? You will be reviewing your beliefs and coming on to maybe a new set of beliefs. The ninth house is also about studying and teaching. Remember, Jupiter rules the ninth house. Jupiter is the guru. So you could be considering becoming a teacher or writing a course. And during this retrograde, you will be kind of finalizing all of the loose ends to make that happen, which is great. But don't launch it until after the retrograde. So for Libra and Libra rising, the Mercury retrograde is happening in your 8th house. So the 8th house, it can be a bit of a scary place. It represents a lot of things which can be quite dark. I mean, the occult belongs in the 8th house. I'm an occultist. I personally don't find it scary at all. But if you're an occultist, you may be noticing some strange things happening, or you may feel like you're under some kind of maybe a spiritual attack. In that case, it's time to batten down the hatches. Now, the 8th house is also about sex. You temporarily could have some issues with your sex drive. Temporary sexual dysfunction is also a possibility with Mercury retrograde through the 8th house. It's not about huge problems that never go away. It's about issues that come for a couple of weeks and cause some kind of change or provoke a change in the way that we are handling a certain life area. So you could also be rediscovering some things about the occult that you'd forgotten about, or psychology, or anything that involves us to dig deep beneath the surface of things, which is what the 8th house does. The 8th house is also about joint intimacy. So what is that? Well, it's a very deep bond that you share with your partner. You could be questioning that right now. There may be a lack of intimacy. So whatever you need to do to work on that, to forge the intimacy again, you know, maybe a date night or a weekend away, or doing things that you used to do way back in the beginning of the relationship. It's a good time to do those things again. So money and joint finances also belong in the 8th house. It's like your mortgage, a joint bank account. There could be some reviewing there. There could be some issues. So just watch out for that. So for Scorpio people, Scorpio rising and Scorpio moon, you could also find something from this. Mercury is going retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships. So there may be some like miscommunication between you and your partner. There could be, one of you may be being very stubborn here, because Taurus is a stubborn sign. No one wants to give in. If you do have an argument, just have a little break for a couple of hours and go and do your own thing, and then come back and work on it. Taurus is about work. Taurus people do not sit on their ass when they have a problem. If they work their asses off so they can reach a place of security. So your relationship is where you should be putting the most effort into at this time, so that you can have a great one with your partner. Now, you may have a problem that resurfaces from the past, and you're like rolling your eyes, you know, oh no, I can't believe she's bringing that up again. But perhaps you need to speak with your partner about it in a different way this time, so that they fully understand. But on the plus side, you know, you've got the sun is transiting through your 7th house as well, which is great. And those Mercury retrograde issues really should be, you know, quite minor. So don't worry too much. Just try and be understanding, avoid stubbornness, excuse me, and your relationship will be back to normal in no time. So for Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius sun and moon, the Mercury retrograde is transiting through your 6th house. This can be some chaos within your daily routine. Maybe there's something wrong with your vehicle. Maybe your boss has given you a different schedule. Sorry. Maybe you're suddenly feeling very tired and you're getting up late in the morning and your boss has an issue with it. So just some minor problems to kind of solve here. You may feel temporarily unwell. Now, Taurus rules the throat, so you might find that you have a sore throat or something even to do with your thyroid, because Taurus also rules like the whole neck area. So obviously that will not apply to everyone, just some people. So if that is you, I mean, I have issues with my throat because of the pollen at the moment. Go and get some local honey. That should help. Local raw honey. I should really take my own advice sometimes. So you will find a better and more structured health and diet practice if you kind of follow what is wrong with you at this time, or if there are any issues. You will become more disciplined and focused in solving those. So for Capricorn, sun, rising, moon, the Mercury retrograde is traveling through your 5th house. This can be some temporary problems with a child. So your child could be naughty, a bit stubborn. Your child is the one that is going to be reflecting the Taurus qualities. Or you could find out something is wrong at school with your kid. Nothing major, please don't worry. This is just for a couple of weeks. This might be an issue. So also the 5th house is connected to the fun that you have in your life. Joy, joyful expression, the kind of stuff that you really want to do. You can't wait to do it at the weekend. You need to have some more fun here, Capricorn. So it's a really good time to rediscover some hobbies or some practices that you used to do in the past, but maybe you abandoned that because you just didn't have time anymore, and Capricorn is so focused on work. But yeah, you need to get outside and have some fun and release your inner child. So on to Aquarius, Aquarius rising and moon. The Mercury retrograde is happening in your 4th house. This could be some temporary problems that come up about your home, or you could be reviewing something about your home that you don't like. Maybe you're looking at your old bathroom or your kitchen and you're thinking, you know, I just don't want this anymore. And you start to plan a new one, which you can get installed after the retrograde. You don't want to do it over this retrograde. So the 4th house is also connected to your home and your family. Now, Mercury transiting through here means that you could have some minor issue from the past that has already been a problem that raises its head again. So you will have to deal with that in a very effective way using your own Mercury, your communication skills. So don't worry too much. It really shouldn't be anything majorly bad, but Taurus and Aquarius do make a square. So you could have some issues here connected to your home or your family that will be resolved by the end of the retrograde, and you'll be in a much better place. So on to Pisces, Pisces rising and Pisces moon. The retrograde is happening in your 3rd house. So this could really be problems that you have with a vehicle, your car, your motorbike. Mercury retrograde, of course, is notorious for causing problems with cars or short journeys. So you in particular will be kind of vulnerable to that. It doesn't mean for sure that it's going to happen. It depends on your own personal transits that you will have through your birth chart. But you could also maybe have some Mercury retrograde things going on with either your siblings or else within your own neighborhood. So, you know, it could be a bit of gossip going on. There could be some miscommunication issues between your siblings or your neighbors, but they will be resolved by the end of the retrograde. So there's really no need to worry overly about it. It is a great time for you to gain some mental clarity on a problem that has been bothering you for a long time. So the third house is ruled by Mercury. It is also about the way that our mind works. So you will probably experience some kind of breakthrough or light bulb moment to a problem that has been ongoing for a while. So lastly, Aries Sun, Aries Rising and Moon, you have just had that eclipse in your sign this morning. Wow. So this Mercury retrograde is happening in your second house of your finances. What I can see here is there is some reviewing going on with your money, in your financial situation. Now, because that eclipse is in your sign, there is this brand new beginning coming in your overall life. And it is not a small thing. It's going to be fantastic for you because Jupiter is involved. So one possibility is that you get a new job, which causes a change in your identity. And therefore, your money, by the end of this retrograde, there's going to be a huge improvement there. So remember that the eclipse can unfold over several months. This Mercury retrograde is going to be just for the next few weeks and then the shadow period. So don't stress it if you're having some financial worries. It's also a great time for you to invest in money. You know, Uranus is in Taurus as well. It's connected to cryptocurrency, digital currencies, which, yeah, they're not very good for us. But you might as well play the game if it's going to happen anyway. So for Aries in particular, because Uranus and Taurus is transiting through your second house, you could do some investing, cryptocurrency or the stock market or whatever that would come into fruition much later for you. So that is my analysis of Mercury retrograde. Remember, please don't fear this. I am almost 42 now. I've been through loads of these and I'm still here. So you will be too. So just try and keep it cool. If you want to download the cheat sheet that I bought for shortcuts on how to read a birth chart, I will leave the link below. As always, I'm open for readings, and for my astrology school is open, and I'm taking bookings towards the end of the summer as I'm booked up until then. So hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up and a share if you did, and I will be back.